observers who were there say that Dr. Besigye promised that he would not form a political party. That was not foreseen. 5 years later, Colonel Besigye returned from exile and launched the FDC. There were efforts of DP and FDC to form the nucleus of an electoral coalition dubbed the G6. But it came to nothing. DP elected Sebana Kizito as president, and he ran for president of Uganda. Many of those with whom he was elected shunned him. They followed Dr. Besigye's wave. On the contrary, I, who was his rival for the presidency of DP, an election I lost, I humbled myself, went, congratulated him, and I became his national campaign director. Together with the national vice president, Fred Mukasambite, as my deputy. That was the first multi-party election. The opportunism of our DP leaders in shunning Sebana started rearing its head. At that point, the meaning of opposition changed. Opposition meant FDC and Besigye. Remember previously, it was UPC. A massive media smear campaign was launched by narrow-minded and selfish so-called pro-change, anti-Museveni politicians to represent DP and Sebana Kizito as spoilers on Museveni's payroll. Fast forward to 2010, I was elected DP president. Sebana had started talks with FDC about a possible electoral coalition in 2011. It was dubbed the Inter-Party Coalition. The talks were inconclusive. Sebana then tasked the new leadership, which I was in charge of, to decide whether to be part of that IPC coalition or not. When the new National Executive Committee met, we decided not to be part of that coalition. With the FDC having positioned itself as the opposition, DP was once more demonized and smeared as a Museveni Trojan horse. FDC made an agreement with the DP clique opposed to the new DP leadership, which they named Uganda Subi 2011. These were leaders who ran for parliament under DP, but supported Besigye for president. I was singled out for the most vitriolic hate campaign. Anybody not supporting Besigye was not considered opposition, but we stood our ground. In Acholi, Besigye came third. He won 4 districts in the whole of Uganda. I won 3 districts in Uganda. The attacks from FDC combined with the clique within DP opposed to the NEC elected in Mbale became even more intense. It did not help matters that the IPC spokesperson was Semuju Ibrahim, who was also a member of Subi, Uganda 2011. The bad blood continued and became worse around the time of the Iyala elections. Before DP went to court to open up the Iyala elections, NRM and FDC would share the 9 Iyala seats at a ratio of 6-3. FDC would take 3 and NRM would take 4. But nobody considered that to be something wrong. Until I reached out to our then National Legal Advisor, Mukasambide, and told him, let's go and meet Honorable Mama Mbabazi and tell him that if the NRM does not allow DP to compete for IALA, we are going to court. And we gave him 6 months. One morning, we went to Honorable Mama Mbabazi's office at now Serena Hotel. Some DP leaders saw us entering Mama Mbabazi's office. They rang the Secretary General, Mathias, and said, Mao and Mbide have gone to see Mama Mbabazi. They have gone to sell the party. I had been told that Mbide was very close to Mama Mbabazi. When I reached Mama Mbabazi's office, Mama Mbabazi stood up and greeted Mbide very pleasantly. And he said, Honorable Mbide, at last I get to meet you. I'm very pleased to meet you. So I asked Honorable Mbide, you mean people have just been spoiling your name? You have never met this man before? He said, yeah, this is the first time. But that is the mentality in the so-called opposition. That you must not be seen with anyone who is associated with the government, at least openly. Untouchability. Those who see them secretly at night. That is why you hear all the halabaloo about meeting General Salim Saleh. For us, we meet him during the day. Those who meet him during the night, we know them. Eventually, I directed our legal advisor to go to court in the famous case of Democratic Party and Fred Mukasambide versus Attorney General and the East African Community. We won that case and the IALA elections were opened up. Once again, our friends in the FDC came and said, no. If we are not going to get equal numbers of IALA MPs, we should boycott. DP is ever willing to play ball. We are always looking for consensus. Our late Secretary General, Mathias, went and signed a statement declaring that we would boycott elections. And I told Honorable Mbide, keep your nomination forms, don't take it to Parliament. When I went to Parliament, I found big banners of FDC candidates. Busy campaigning for IALA. I met one of the MPs and asked him, why are you campaigning while telling DP not to campaign? Then they said, no. Honorable Katuntu has gone to Arusha to file a case. As I walked up the parliamentary stairs, I found Honorable Katuntu. So I asked him, you are supposed to be in Arusha. What games? Fellow Democrats, we have to say no to gimmicks in the name of opposition. We have to be serious. I called Honorable Mbide and told him, go and file your nominations and to hell with anybody who criticizes us. We campaigned so hard for Honorable Mbide to win. When Honorable Mbide took a delegation of East African MPs to a function where President Museveni was, and he was introduced, President Museveni made a comment and said, Honorable Mbide is a good DP. Then our leader, who now left the party, Honorable Betty Namboze, decided to start a clique called Bad DP. In other words, the rest of us are good DP because we are civil.
Of course, that is a joke.
To date,
It is a joke.
I can tell you that that is what gave her the momentum to launch another campaign to undermine the DP leaders. It was called Make DP Great Again. I realized that many of them were preaching water but drinking wine. We decided to go full throttle for the Iyala polls with a laser-sharp focus to have DP in Iyala. Honorable Mbide served 2 terms in Iyala, and when he retired, we fought hard to have Honorable Siranda go to Iyala, where he is. Sometimes, you also have to consider your own interests. The coward of the county was at last fighting back and would take no bullshit from the so-called leading opposition party. We reclaimed our voice and our power to decide for ourselves. We would no longer be a wagon to be towed around aimlessly. We were determined to be an engine, captains of our souls, masters of our fate. The IPC was still born because it was seen as a special purpose vehicle to perpetuate the Museveni-Besigye political feud, as opposed to presenting a clear alternative to the NRM. The purpose of opposition is supposed to present an alternative, not just to heckle the leader. Indeed, soon even the UPC under Otunu left the coalition. Why? Michael Mabike and his Social Democratic Party was supposed to be the official IPC candidate for Kampala Lord Mayor. But behind his back, FDC negotiated with the Subi Uganda 2011 Lukwago areas to become Lord Mayor. Mabike walked away and said a lot of unkind words about Dr. Besigye. In 2015, we attempted another coalition. That year, I was very sick. And I thank those of you who prayed for me to get out of intensive care. I think God saved me for a purpose. But FDC didn't want its position as the opposition to be challenged. That was a delicate negotiation. Something was signed called TDA. You remember it? It was signed without any consultation of any National Executive Committee. There was no National Council. As a matter of fact, it was signed while I was in hospital. But in the spirit of common cause, we joined those who agreed with it. We nominated as 4 presidential candidates: myself, Professor Gilbert Bukenya, Amama Mbabazi, and Dr. Besigye. I sat in that meeting of 4 people for 2.5 days. I'm the only one who kept full notes of what everyone said in that meeting. Word by word. I have 3 notebooks with what everyone said. That is why when Professor Gilbert Bukenya attempted to insult us, I warned him. I said, "Sir, do you want me to speak about the things you said in private when we met?" That was the end. As we faced the prospect of 2021 elections, we reached out to those who had left the party to do what was called the DP-UID reunion. You remember it. I drafted the mission statement of the reunion, and I quote, "The goal of the reunion is to shape a collective future, and the strategy is that the fragmented forces that have valiantly stood in the gap fighting for democracy should consolidate, realign, and coalesce at the head of the democracy-seeking forces in Uganda. Each reunion would be an occasion to rediscover our mission, to rebuild our mother party, unite all the democratic forces, and lead the charge for democratic change in our motherland. Once again, this ideal, which was motivated by the big picture approach, was derailed by milk-card politics and the manipulation of what the opposition is. I'll share my record of how this happened and why. Our generation did not miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. Because of selfishness and narrow-mindedness, fellow Democrats, the word opposition has lost meaning. I now know people. And because I know a lot, I talk very little. I can tell you what you call opposition, most are a bunch of masqueraders. As a DP, we are really on our own. Let us rebuild our party based on the real circumstances in Uganda. We have to ask now the fundamental question. Who are those who believe in DP? DP should identify its true believers and cultivate it. There are people who DP will never win over, even if we walk on water. Let's consolidate our base of true believers who share our ideology of pragmatic nationalism. Let's be the party that will be the tiebreaker in our politics. Let's be the bridge over which Ugandans will walk to a new and better future. Let's be the healing balm for a hurting country. We will always be misplaced among the extremists. In Acholi, we have a saying, Lachene petu kachere kibonyo. Grasshoppers do not fly together with the locusts. In Uganda, ensenene tezibuka na nzige. We have tried to belong to the so-called opposition, and all the time we are shunned. Our history should guide us as we redefine our identity and goals. Sticking our finger in the air to find out which direction the wind is blowing will only take us where we don't want to go. If we know where we want to go, all we have to do is to set ourselves right. Any wind will take us where we want to go. Even the turbulence of the sea will not deter us. DP has noble ideals worth fighting for. But at this juncture, as we answer the question of what sort of Uganda will we have post-Museveni, President Museveni is now an old man. He is over 80. The other day, he apologized publicly to Uganda. He has apologized before to northern Uganda. And I believe he will come to Kasese and also apologize. Now, these are things that DP believes in. DP believes that every part of Uganda is hurting. This country needs healing. This country needs to witness what it has never seen before, namely peaceful presidential transition. Let President Museveni be the last president to jump over dead bodies while going to be sworn in. I don't want to walk on the blood of Ugandans. However much I want to be president, I don't want to walk on the blood of Ugandans as I go to be sworn in. I come from the north of the country. You know my journey. I'm not a new leader. We in the north have seen the worst of the NRM. We have seen 20 years of war. Luwero had 5 years of war. Our party, DP, has seen the worst of state terror. Our MPs used to be shot in broad daylight. If you calculate the number of years that DP leaders spent in prison, it is so many times more than the years the so-called opposition today have spent in prison. But why do we always stand up? Because we are the mature party. As Norbert Mao today, I challenge all of you Democrats that let us continue to be the pragmatic party. I've seen a lot in my 58 years of life. I've seen wars. As a little boy, one day our primary school was closed by Idi Amin, and we were taken to witness a firing squad. 2 people were shot dead. We lived through the 1979 war. We witnessed scarcity. We had to wash clothes with pawpaw leaves. These experiences are familiar to you. I believe our Democrats who come from Masaka suffered when the Tanzanians were approaching Kampala, and they suffered even more when the NRA was approaching Kampala. DP must be the party that will break the cycle of violence in Uganda. Let us stick to our 4 ideals: peaceful transition, national dialogue, national transition of power, national reconciliation, constitutional reforms. There have been a lot of discussion about the decision that I committed the party to. It is not my intention to belabor it too much. The matter is even in court. Our beloved members of parliament decided to take the matter so that the court can decide whether I did anything wrong. We are still waiting for the court to decide. As a lawyer, I don't want to be a judge in that case. We shall wait. But in this gathering, I can politically tell you the genesis of that decision. After the 2021 elections, we convened the retreat of the National Executive Committee and the members of Parliament. And we made a resolution and set 3 strategic goals. Number 1, to take power as DP. Number 2, to lead the opposition. Number 3, to share power. Those are the 3 strategic goals we agreed upon. And we did not state who we would share power with. We stated clearly that we would share power with whoever has power. That was a decision of a formal meeting. The minutes are there for the record. I did not reach out to the NRM and President Museveni asking to cooperate with them. In Soroti, I told the National Council the truth, and I will summarize it. In June 2021, and remember, I participated in a presidential election which has been the most difficult presidential election. Remember, we had tried to unite the opposition. Well, my airtime is getting finished. We tried to unite. We sat in one of our meetings as DP and we decided that the young man who had won the Chadondo East parliamentary elections, Bobi Wine, can help attract the youth to politics. Because President Museveni has been beating the opposition with a gap of about 2 to 3 million. Why? Because young people don't go to vote. And we identified Bobi Wine as a magnet. We did not see him as a presidential candidate. We saw him as part of the movement. So we engaged him. As we engaged him under the reunion arrangement, we saw that we were building momentum. We then started discussing, is it possible for him to come and support me as a presidential candidate, given my experience and given the broad base of DP? He did not give us a direct answer, and he said, we shall see. But I think as we moved around the country and he saw the crowds adoring him, he started developing a totally different idea. Unfortunately, within DP itself, we had people who were telling him, you cannot work with Mao. Mao is difficult. But I tried my best to work with him. We reached a point when we agreed that we can even amend the DP constitution so that the president in 2021 is not the presidential candidate. It failed. Then he launched a party. I reached out to him and told him, can we launch something called People Power Alliance and we work together? We failed. 10 of our members of parliament left DP, and many of them blamed me for the failure of the coalition, which is totally wrong. As now we are here in the story. The other day, Dr. Bed Bonica told the truth. He said those who are now attacking him and Honorable Mpuuga are the people who undermined our effort to unite Mao and Bobi Wine. Many of those who left DP are not happy where they went. But we are still here. We have problems, but most of our problems are not really problems of DP. Most of our problems are not even problems of Mao. It is simply a problem of people thinking they have a veto on what the party can do. That even if they are in the minority, the majority must not lead the party. That is not democracy. And that brings me to the decision which was taken with the 3 strategic objectives. Now, my 2021 campaign was very hard. Many of our DPs were not with me. They were supporting Bobi Wine. As I moved around the country, DP candidates were hiding from me, except in Kasanda, where Honorable Zimula Mugwanya was with me all through the campaign. People thought he would lose because there's a narrative that if he stood with Mao, he would lose. He stood with me, he even escorted me up to the border of Kiboga and Chankwanzi, and yet he won as district chairman of Kasanda district. we should draw a lesson from that. You will not win because of a bad party. Instead, you will lose if you campaign badly and if you undermine your party. Fellow Democrats, we have internal mechanisms of solving our party problems. Why do we go to the media to lambast the party? Why do we go to court to lambast the party? It follows that if you keep insulting your president, that he has sold the party. Does this look like a party that has been sold? What are we doing here? The people who say the party was sold have the biggest posters all over here. That is utter hypocrisy, and we must call it out. As I told the Karamoja delegation, DP is unsolvable. DP is not my personal property. I will never put it in my will so that my children can inherit it. DP is too big for anybody. Now, you go around in the media saying DP cannot win, DP has been sold, DP is in the pocket of NRM, and then you think DP can win elections. You cannot be a bishop in the church and you go to preach and you say, my archbishop is an adulterer, my archbishop is a thief, there's a witch doctor's shrine in the cathedral, but bring your children to be baptized. Who do you think will bring their children to be baptized? Nobody will come. So you are basically inflicting an injury on yourself, and then you blame Mao. I have been fought since I took over the leadership of this party by a small clique that claim that the party belongs to their grandfather.
I know, right?
Of course, my grandfather is not among the 8 founders. That's not my choice. I never chose where my father should come from. I never chose where my mother should come from. I never chose where I should belong. But now, we want our party back. It is also my party.
Back.
Uganda is big. You cannot be in Kampala and then talk as if that's the whole of Uganda. You may say DP is losing ground in Kampala, but in Omoro the other day we welcomed 162 converts from other countries. We received 5 councillors who joined. We received even the flag bearer of ANT, Mugisha Mundu's party, into DP. So you cannot be in Kampala and you think that is the whole of Uganda. Uganda, for your information, starts from Kisoro and goes to Kabong in Karamoja. Starts from Kapchorwa and goes to Kasese. That is Uganda. If you continue to think that what you see around your village represents the whole of Uganda, you cannot be a national leader. You will only be like a frog that is in a little pond and it thinks it is a lake. is bad politics. 2021, after the elections, we called the meeting of IPOD, the Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue, which some of our DP leaders attack. They don't want to be seen with President Museveni. But why should you posture? You are a member of parliament, you earn 40 million as an MP, you mobilize people to come and insult the party president at the party headquarters. Innocent people are arrested and they spend days in the police. For you, because you're a member of parliament, you enter your air-conditioned Land Cruiser, you go home, your wife gives you fruit juice, then you ask for remote control. Have they shown our struggle on TV? That is not good politics. Let us put an end to bad politics. By belonging to IPOD, we were able to cause the release of over 70 NUP activists. Is it bad to go and talk to President Museveni and say, please release these children, they are innocent? Who are you going to talk to? Not the person who is in charge of the country. It is like when I went to talk to Kony, people say Kony is cutting off people's mouths, ears, noses. You can't talk to him. But we went and talked to him because we had a reason. In the same way, if we want to discuss the future of Uganda, we must have courage to talk even to our worst enemies. That's why Uganda is where it is. Imagine Dr. Bote, who became Prime Minister at 36. The Kabaka, who became president at 39. Ibingira, who became Attorney General at 29. They could not sit and talk. Imagine if they had talked. Would they have attacked the Lubidi? Would they have chased away the Kabaka to go to exile? Let us learn to talk to people we disagree with. That is the new politics of Uganda. So for me, I will always talk without apology. We who come from northern Uganda know that we got peace by talking to people who are shooting at us. If Moses Ali had not talked to President Museveni, would West Nile be peaceful? If we had not gone to Juba, would we have peace? Let us learn to dialogue. Indeed, when I got the call from President Museveni about working together, I called the members of parliament in June 2021. All of them, through their whip, the whip is here. Those of you who are saying, I made a secret deal. It was not a secret deal. I called the members of parliament because they are our top leaders.
Expose
These negotiations are delicate. These negotiations cannot be discussed in the open with everybody because these are matters of state. These are matters of state. I gave the draft agreement to Honorable Lumu.
Yes.
He is the one who read it for his colleagues. But he went on TV and denied it.
Expose
I am here to say this National Delegates Conference is to help me solve the problems in DP once and for all. I have told you, delegates financial-minded and selfish leaders. I am still seeking your support. Today is the last battle. It is the last battle. Today, it is the last battle. Those who have fought Mao for 15 years, enough is enough. Enough is enough. I want to hand over a party to the young generation. When it has no battles, let me take the next 5 years of my last term to finish the battles. No more battles in DP. Imagine if all this energy was put to building DP, instead the energy is put to fighting Mao. Let us use our energy to build our party. I promised you the truth, and that is what I've given you. Those who don't want the truth, that is your problem. I say
attention members.
Mr. Chairman, let me close.
Members, I'm reminding you we have rules to follow.
Let me close, Mr. Chairman. You know, I told you I always scratch where I am itching. I'm not going to scratch my head because I am shy. I have told you what you need to know. Democrats, you have come from all parts of Uganda. Come and save me. From those who have been fighting me. And they are fighting me because I am fighting for you. You are the soldiers of democracy. You are the soldiers that are going to liberate DP from indiscipline, from opportunism, and from unnecessary conflict. The Bible says a house divided against itself cannot stand. We must have one DP.
And the conference,
you will decide whether Norbert Mao, who you know, has the ability to take you to the promised land. You cannot drop him. I am your last matchstick. If you have one matchstick, you do not strike it where it is struggling. Do not waste your biggest asset. Don't let anybody manipulate you to throw away your biggest asset. Is it not a good thing when we use our energy to build rather than to destroy? The young people that we have mentored, the problems we have solved nowadays, DP leaders can organize their branches without interruption from the state because of Mao. In the position that I have, we have been able to help release the king of the Bakonzi. We have been able to increase cattle compensation. If you are from Teso, if you are from Acholi, if you are from Lango, now you are going to get 150 billion. Because we just don't want positions, we want power. We have not even forgotten other areas. So, I am very happy today that I have got some things out of my chest. And I'm happy that we are going to have one DP.
Yes.
Because you cannot have two DPs. That's not a party. You can't have a party where you can't work together. A party means you agree. We cannot have a party where we are only disagreeing. Either those who think like Mao are in charge of the party fully, or the people who have been disturbing Mao for so long take charge. That is the choice. I congratulate you all on going through the structure elections. I promise you, in the next parliament, we shall have no less than 50 members of parliament. We now have the means to campaign. I have many friends.
Yes.
I can raise resources for you.
Yes.
As a global leader, DP must not reduce its standards.
Yes.
Therefore, as we debate today, let us be the party that realizes that Uganda is not going to change through elections. Uganda is going to change through negotiations. And DP is already positioned to negotiate. And your Norbert now is already near the big drum. When the hand of the one drumming gets tired, Mao will press the drum and start drumming. And all of you, I invite you on this great adventure. It is only those who don't know Uganda who talk recklessly. Uganda is not Sweden. It is not Britain. It is not America. The conditions of Uganda forces you to drive according to the road conditions. Therefore, what I can see from where I am, many of you don't see it. Don't miss the great adventure of liberating Uganda, of a peaceful transition, of national reconciliation, and of having a DP president for once. God bless you all.
Next order. Next order presentation of today's next. Next order presentation of the previous minutes.
Members, Members, ladies and gentlemen, dear Democrats, dear delegates, members, I remind you that today's item is to dissolve and get to elections. And I'm aiming at that. I'm looking at time, and I know we don't have more money to pay for another day. We have the money to conclude today's business. It will be my fault not to have seen that we don't have the money, we don't have the time, and we need to abide by the Constitution by getting new leadership. Simple as that. That's how I look at it. I should not play with any language or play games. I made the rules clear. If I play games, then I'm also a victim. My duty is to provide or to lay down the possibilities of getting a new leadership team. Simple as that. The rest we're going to talk in a special or an extraordinary delegates conference, which I know we are going to do or provide our delegates. You, the sitting delegates, you have to come back within 6 months or a year. That is 12 months. We have to come back and then we discuss all our itching issues. All our issues. You are free even to drop away what you don't want. But we want a new leadership. We have to settle the party, and we need to prepare this party to another yardstick of really running. Members, we continue on item number 9, if I'm not mistaken, and it talks about preparations of party reports and previous aspects. Yeah. Continue, Dr. Siranda.
Chairman. One class chair. Chairman Congo. National train. National train change.
The guy said we have to meet us if he was joking. Who?
Mr. Chairman, the honorable delegates, I take this opportunity to present the previous minutes of the 2020 Gulu National Delegate Conference. The minutes of the National Delegate Conference of the Democratic Party held on the 18th to 20th September 2020 at Sir Samuel Becker Senior Secondary School in Gulu City. Mr. Chairman, the minutes are within.
Attention, please. Let's be a bit calm now. Let's try to listen. Continue, sir.
First page. On the first page, we are on page 17. Mr. Chairman, the first page has the attendance and the categories of the members that were present.
Which page are you talking about, sir?
Page 17.
Members, page 17. 17.
Page 17 of the National Delegate Conference working document booklet. It had the agenda,
That is 17.
17. Mr. Chairman, the agenda, Mr. Chairman had to call to order. And of course, the communication. Because of time,
Remind members, what are you talking about?
I am dealing the previous minutes of the National Delegate Conference of 2020.
Year 2020.
Mr. Chairman, because these are minutes of the NDC, they only come back.
Which verse?
That's why we are presented.
Once again, so that they all understand.
Previous minutes of the National Delegate Conference held National Delegate Conference 2020 Gulu National Delegate Conference. The minutes of the National Delegate Conference of the Democratic Party held on 18th to 20th September 2020 held at Sir Samuel Baker Senior Secondary School in Gulu City.
Thank you. Continue. Next page, 18.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to page 18 and start through your communication. Mr. Chairman, I went to page 19.
Good. Members, are you following?
Where we capture a lot of this.
These are minutes.
And Mr. Chairman, this that ran all the way from the previous National Delegate Conference. And Mr. Chairman,
good. If you will,
page 20,
good.
it continues to stand through, and of course there were motions, amendment of Article 10 of the Constitution as amended by substituting it with the articles as shown below.
The catchword in this aspect is what?
The amendment
Of what?
the Constitution, specifically Article 10.
Which talks about what?
The supreme organ of the party shall be the National Delegate Conference that shall make all laws and policies and how the parties will be governed, and shall consist of all members of the National Council, B, all district women leaders, C, all district youth leaders, D, 2 delegates from each of the parliamentary constituencies, of one of which shall be, whom shall be female. And I think, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, you can report that we have complied.
Meaning, what I was trying to capture here, members, is regarding the response to the motion that was aimed at reducing the numbers of delegates to the National Delegates Conference. Meaning, we had to reduce them and spells out those eligible to attend the Delegates Conference. And these are the people we are talking about, or the representatives.
Motion 2,
Continue.
Motion 2 was to create new positions in the National Executive Committee, as was approved by National Delegate Conference held on in 2026. This stems back from Katomi National Delegate Conference.
Good.
The motion to adopt all positions that were passed during the year 2016, the National Delegate Conference held in Katomi. The purpose for this motion before you is to adopt, ratify, therefore adopt, ratify, and declaration of the vacancies as approved.
Members, the vacancies are spelled out in bullets. Am I right?
This, Mr. Chairman, presents all vacancies and positions of our party now,
which we are now practicing.
As you may recall, we have new positions that were not in all the constitution. The purpose for this was to align our constitution to the national constitution and the times of today. For instance, we did not have persons with disability in the old constitution. We now have them, and the representative, the honorable working, is here. We did not have elderly representation, yet our party is the oldest party in this country. Today, we have Mr. Bishaka and Dr. Takuma. Mr. Chairman, we did not also have the elderly, rather the diaspora and foreign relations. Today, we have the Honorable Kobakechi Liandro and Honorable Seramana Richard in those two positions, and they were the first people to hold those positions. Mr. Chairman, we did not have positions specifically for workers, entrepreneurship, and the informal sector and creative industry. Today, we have Engineer Tupnego holding that position, and previously it was also held by our colleague who changed the address. We also changed and approved the National Women League to become the fully fledged league. Today, the AG president of the Women League is the Honorable Adong Sarah, and of course you have the Honorable Nachanja, the secretary, and you have Bernadette Musinge, and so they've done well. You can see what they're doing. We did not have the Youth League, Uganda Young Democrats. Now, it was a fighting ground, it was a battle. Today, they are fully fledged league of our party.
Members, I hope you're paying attention. Good, continue.
You have the Honorable Kiria Ismail, the first president, and you have the Honorable Sayuni Helen as a deputy, the Honorable Kiria, you have the Honorable Aloku Barbara, and of course you have the Honorable Agaba Esther in those positions. Mr. President, and of course we created all this. We also created Kampala, the representative for Great Region of Kampala as a second.
Where are you?
Where is Bashir?
Which verse?
Page
Where is
what?
Bashir?
Page 21.
Page 21.
Then of course motion 3,
Good.
amendment of chapter 2 of the party constitution on duties of the party members.
Good.
Mr. President, this one was to tighten how we behave and how we conduct ourselves in terms of the party. The person runs with another party sponsored flag bearer as an independent, and tomorrow he comes back to the party. This has addressed that. Once you run as an independent, you've changed the party and you've totally left. You must apply to come back to the process of the party. And I think this was based on discipline. And we have also said in this article that you cannot take your party to court unless you have exhausted all internal remedies within your party. Then you can move to court after you've exhausted everything within your party. Mr. President and Mr. Chairman and honorable delegates, there were several here that are highlighted here. Of course, there were these amendments that go up to
members, continue.
Bring UID as a semi-autonomous organ of the party with its constitution as a charter that will be an attachment to the mother party, because the UID and the Women League are not separate parties, but they are just leagues within the party, but semi-autonomous, but answerable to the mother party. This was done, Mr. President, to create a friction where some people think there is a party called UID or the Democratic Party Women League. That's why the addendum, when you see on all our banners and all our leaflets, we add the Women League and we add the Youth League, because we are one party. And of course, there was an article, Mr. President, of the Constitution.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman. I beg your pardon, Mr. Chairman.
Good. Continue, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Article 19 Constitution is amended by substituting the following article. Article 19. The National Executive Committee shall meet at
Members, we are on page 24.
The National Executive Committee shall meet at least once every 3 months. Given that these leaders are voted from the entire country, and in case of emergency, from day to day, to review the major trends, and in case of such emergencies, to assume full responsibilities for safeguarding the programs and interest of the party.
Can you please just explain why it has not happened the reasons why it has not happened 3 months. It has been spelled in our communication. Let's remind those who have not been frequenting the party activities. We talked about the purchase we made of our new premises, which went to around 800-900 million shillings, and we had to collect this money, and it made us first accomplish this task and then continue, sir. Continue.
The insertion of a new Article A, the Constitution is amended by inserting immediately after Article 19 the following article: the Management Committee. There shall be established a subcommittee of the NEC. I repeat, there shall be established a subcommittee of the NEC.
Continue reporting, please. Continue.
The NEC.
I don't see any wrong with the procedure here. He's going through the document.
The management
and he's following the procedure of how it is spelled. Continue, sir.
The management committee shall be responsible. The management committee shall continue. The members of the management committee will be the heads of departments and shall be responsible for the day-to-day facilitation and functional provisions as shall apply. That is the purpose. There is Article 23.
Order.
The motion shall be attached. The Women League shall be signatory mass. I've talked about that. Of course, Article 24 on the UID, it is also been attached. And to note that UID shall be for members in ages of 18 to 30. As per the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. Good. Mr. Chairman of the motion.
Which page are you?
Page
26. Get to page 26.
27. Amending the Constitution of Article 19 is amended. The Constitution is amended by substituting it with the following article, new article. Insertion, we inserted there the articles.
Continue. We go ahead.
Motion, page 28. Members can see all those that are there. It seems they're becoming impatient, but the good thing, the good secretariat has provided everything within this book.
Page 29.
Page 30. Page 30.
Page 30.
Their duties. This specifically is on the duties of the created officers. Remember, Mr. Chairman, these officers were not there. Therefore, we created the delegate conference created duties, and then there was a motion that went up to 44. And of course, Mr. Chairman, there are these reports. Discussion by all these votes. Mr. Chairman, as the Secretary of the Delegate Conference, these were the minutes.
Order!
I beg to submit, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Members, is this what transpired on the day ahead? Colleagues,
I second the motion.
Get to the next understanding. Members, take your seats. Calm down.
They are not listening. They are just listening.
Very clear. The rules are very clear, members. And to obey the rules.
Order.
Sit down, presidential candidate. Presidential candidate.
Presentation of the party reports.
You don't need to hustle here. Presidential candidates, sit down. Presidential candidate, sit down. Make members, delegates, sit down. I want to hand over this leadership.
Order.
The minutes have to be presented, and they have done the presentation. And they are seconded. We get to the next item. When you go back to page number 6, we get to the item number 9. Item number 9. Yes, Dr. Slanga, continue. Item number 9. Yes, continue. We go to item number 9.
Mr. Chairman,
Continue, sir.
we've done several initiatives here, and dear delegates,
Members, we are receiving, have to listen to the General Secretary's report.
Mr. Chairman, my report is properly presented and aware. The party has done several engagements and renewed communication with initiatives and IPs. Mr. Chairman,
Members, is the Secretary thus capturing what is transpiring? Yes. Continue.
And of course,
Continue. Omusajja erinnya ly'epe dada. Dr. Mayambala, Russian doctor. Continue.
Mr. Chairman, the party supported candidates. Over 122.
Request the nominated just come.